You were with Whiteman after Bix, were you? Had Bix left by
Well,
the
I
time
knew
you
Bix
joined?
before in Chicago. See, before Bix went
Yes.
to New York, he was in Chicago, and he and Louis became friends during that time.
Do the records give any idea of how he was in the flesh as a musician, how he sounded?
Well, he was a very timid young man, I thought.
Was he?
He wasn't very outgoing,
Hmm.
but everybody loved his playing at that time. They just thought he was the greatest. And then when he got with Whiteman, we were all happy about it because in those days, Paul accumulated jazz musicians as fast as he could.
Yes.
And he always tried to have the best as far as musicianship is concerned. In fact, just before I left on this trip, I had lunch with Al Rinker, who was one of the rhythm boys.
Indeed.
And Al said something about Bix, and he said, you remember when they used to get Bix to play a piano once in a while with a band? He said, here we had two of the best piano players around, and Roy Barkey and Lenny Hayton. And yet Bix would sit down and he'd break everybody up with the way he'd play choruses on it. Everybody'd applaud. Because he really wasn't a piano player in that sense, but
No.
what he would play was so individual.
And of course, a little later on, you in fact recorded perhaps Bix's most famous piano
In a
composition,
mist,
In
yeah.
a Mist.
Well, I used to go up and hear him in New York. A friend of mine had a piano, a fellow named Roy Wilson. So he gave Bix a key. He used to go up and play it. And once in a while, I'd go up and sit and listen to him. And actually, to get his stuff down, Bill Chalice deserves a lot of credit because most of his stuff was just improvising. And Bill used to take it down nearly as fast as Bix could repeat that or something. And it's, oh, what did I do? Just something like that. At that time in New York, there was no jazz records being made. In fact, for doing In a Mist, I'd done a few tinkly solos for Brunswick's prior to that time. And when I was egged on to do Dance of the Octopus and In the Mist, we did it at 11 o'clock at night so they wouldn't stop it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Goodman borrowed a bass clarinet and we did it. And I got fired for it, too.
Really?
Yes. Oh, yeah, Jack Cap tore my contract right up my face. He said I couldn't sell 10 of those in the whole United States. And so he sold it to Parlophone in England there.
That's right.
So when John Hammond came over to see his sister the next year, he brought back about 20 of them. And he gave them to different people in the United States. So that year, they had an article in Esquire, the 25 greatest jazz records, and it was included. So they had to put it out. they finally put it out in the United States. So later, when I was working on my first band on 52nd Street, I think it was 34, 35, something like that, some people came in and they said, I was just playing xylophone. I wasn't playing marimba then. It was a small band. And they say, play In a Mist. And I didn't think many people knew that. So it happened. It was Reggie Gardner. You know who it is?
Oh, yes.
And Dee Lilly.
Really?
Yeah, they said, they have the record and we want you to play it. So I said, it's pretty hard to play, but I'll play it. And they became fans of that band.